You know how Gravity Falls is all about mysteries and hiding all these secret ciphers in plain sight? That's thanks to the legendary show creator Alex Hirsch. Even when the show was still airing, Alex was very good at fooling fans with fake leaks and important-looking secret messages that were onto absolutely nothing.
Backwards message.
In fact, even after so many years, I still see him teasing dubious Season 3 copium on Twitter. The guy is an elite-level troll, and that attitude is baked into the show itself.
Dear T, for you, kid.
And that brings us to some of the finest moments when Gravity Falls fooled absolutely everybody. Starting with my favorite incident, the infamous McGucket hoax, which set a blazing fire to the fandom for months. And all because of this one innocent-looking photo that managed to fool every fan around the world. This is the story of an absolutely legendary incident, when Alex Hirsch personally went undercover to save Gravity Falls all by himself. People don't know that Gravity Falls was actually a hit show from day one. Episode 1 garnered over 3 million viewers. With each new episode, the show gained more and more fans. And by the middle of Season 1, the collective fandom was already theorizing about Stan having a twin brother. And this was perhaps the biggest spoiler in the show. And it was coming out way earlier than expected. But things got worse a few months later. Some were even convinced that Stan's twin brother was the author of Journal 3. That was true, but Alex Hirsch couldn't let it be revealed this early in the series. We still had the rest of Season 1 and all of Season 2 to be aired. Turns out the meticulous attention to detail put into every scene and drawing was creating problems. Fans were already dissecting each episode, and they correctly caught on to all the foreshadowing happening since the very beginning. These theories were a little too convincing, so let's go back in time and take a look at this classic old-school theory video made by Vale Skybum. This was uploaded 12 years ago on August 30th, and that's right after the end of Season 1. But this theory was already pretty popular in fandom way earlier. As you can see from this text, this theory was originally created by a Tumblr user named Pretty in Pawn. Evidence 1. The first evidence he presents is the license plate. We first get to see this plate in Episode 2, The Legend of the Gobblewonker, when Stan takes the kids to the lake in the car. And as we look at the license plate a bit closely, it says Stanley Mobile. And this was actually pretty odd at the time. The fans were confused because in a tweet, Alex Hirsch had already revealed that Stan's official name is Stanford. I know his name is Stanley, but at this point in the story he was assuming the identity of his twin brother, so you get the point. Anyway, fans got to thinking, who is this Stanley guy? His name is pretty similar to Stanford. Maybe he's actually Grunkle Stan's mysterious brother, and this would mean that the car Grunkle Stan is driving is actually his brother's car. That's not totally right, but it's crazy how sharp-eyed the fandom can be. The second evidence is even more impressive. It proves that this brother of Stan is actually his identical twin. In the episode Dream Escapers, Bill gets a hold of Stan's mind since he made a deal with Gideon to get the deed to the Mystery Shack.
I'll help you with this, and in return you can help me with something I've been working on. We'll work out the details later. Deal.
So Dipper, Mabel, and Seuss decide to save Stan.
Beware Bill, the most powerful and dangerous creature I've ever encountered. Whatever you do, never let him into your mind.
They recite a spell from the journal to enter Stan's mind so they can stop Bill.
Habeas corpus, insectus nominus overratus, magister mentium, magister mentium, magister mentium!
While there, we see a memory of Stan hanging out with Seuss. And in that memory, he's thinking back to another memory.
So one summer, my pop signs me up for boxing lessons.
And another memory of his father being hard on him as a kid. In this scene, Stan is fighting for his life in a boxing class, and as he fights back, his dad is there nodding in approval. But his dad isn't the only one there. So here's my challenge to you guys. Find something odd in this scene. Time is up. Let me know what you guessed in the comments, and please be honest about it. If you guessed this kid is covering his face with a book, then you are absolutely right. Notice that this guy has the exact same hair as Stan, and their outfit and skin color are an exact match as well. And this kid seems quite smart since he's reading a book in the freaking boxing gym, which is the opposite of Stan. Fans even noticed that on the backside of this kid's head, there is a hair floof thing, and apparently Dipper and Mabel have this hair floof thing as well. The third evidence builds on this, and it appears in the episode Time Traveler's Pig.
Did you say Mabel or doorbell?
That's when Dipper and Mabel came across Blendin' Blandin for the very first time.
What's your deal? Are you following us around?
And why are you bald? What's that all about?
And Dipper steals his time-traveling tape.
I will watch it like a hawk, dude.
To fix his mistakes of accidentally giving Wendy a black eye.
And a 1, and a 2, and a...
Ow! My eye!
But the worst part for Dipper is that Robbie was there to comfort her, and it led to him being back together with Wendy.
Thanks, that's really sweet. The gesture and the flavored syrup.
And I was wondering if maybe you wanted to go out with me?
Yeah, I guess so.
Anyway, a lot of stuff happens, and somehow Mabel and Dipper end up fighting for the time machine.
We messed up the timeline. Pacifica saw the flyer and won Waddles before I did. She took Waddles, Dipper! Waddles forever!
Hey!
Give it back!
And during that, the tape gets stuck in a ride and they end up going way back in time to 19th century America at the time when the Oregon Trail was happening.
Hey, sister. Guess who gets to vote in the future? Ladies! Up top!
They keep hopping timelines, even going to the time of the dinosaurs, and also to a far distant apocalyptic future. But evidence appears in this scene when they show up back in time to a snow-covered mystery shack. Notice that it's not even the mystery shack yet, it's just a regular shack in the forest. And look who appears to check the commotion outside. As you can tell by the glasses, this is actually Stanford in this scene and not Stanley. Even back then, fans were skeptical of those rounded spectacles. In every scene of Grunkle Stan's past and present, he appears with these noticeably square glasses with thick black rims. They also noticed this guy in round glasses looks a lot different from this other flashback of his time with Carla McCorkle. In these two flashbacks, both Stan appear to be of similar age, but this version has a noticeable stubble. The hairstyle is different, there's no line on the chin, and the glasses are nowhere to be found. So maybe this guy in the shack is Stan's mysterious brother. Fans were absolutely right on the money, but maybe for the wrong reasons. Although this is indeed Ford in this flashback scene. During this time, only he lived here while Stanley was busy getting banned from almost every state in the country. Evidence number 4 was the weird Bill Cipher drawing, which appears in the intro. There were already many theories surrounding these symbols on the wheel. Even back then, Fandom had figured out that each of these symbols represents characters. Like this heart is for Robbie. The question mark is obviously for Seuss. You get the point. The wheel also includes a crescent moon representing Stan, which is printed on Grunkle Stan's iconic fez. So if the moon represents Stan, then who do these glasses belong to? What's more, these glasses are the same as the ones on this other version of Stan from the time travel scene. Since each symbol on the wheel only represents one person, Stan cannot have both the crescent moon and the glasses. Therefore, the glasses must belong to his twin brother. The fifth piece of evidence is the secret room from the episode Carpet Diem. You know, that episode where Seuss finds a secret door?
What do you think? There's some kind of secret hidden room in the shack?
Dudes, I found some kind of secret hidden room in the shack.
And there's a carpet in it that switches the bodies of Dipper and Mabel?
And we'll never have to share anything ever again! Ugh, what happened?
Dipper, why are you wearing my clothes?
In that episode, fans caught Stan acting a bit weird. As soon as they enter this new secret room, Stan quickly picks up the glasses on the shelf and hides them. Why would someone who supposedly knows nothing about the room behave this way? And more importantly, these are the same rounded glasses from earlier. So the conclusion was pretty simple. This is the room of Stan's twin brother who used to live in the Mystery Shack. What's more, later in the episode, Stan looks at the glasses with sad eyes, clearly thinking about someone. It's obvious. This someone is the same guy whose glasses showed up on the character wheel, the same guy in the boxing scene, the same guy who appeared in the time travel scene. So far, the accuracy of this theory is actually insane. But this part gave me chills. Let me just read it out. Something bad may have happened between them, which is why Grunkle Stan was grumpier. This is like dead on. We know that something bad did happen between them, but to catch that in Season 1 is crazy. If I saw this video back in the day, I'd probably be convinced. This is just too good. The sixth and final evidence is, like, impossible to catch, but apparently not that hard for Gravity Falls fans.
Stan Pines.
It's my first time seeing this. Notice the glasses and the hairstyle. This is a literal picture of Stanford appearing on Bill's body. They straight up showed Stanford in this scene. This is pretty insane. I never knew we saw Stanford more than 2 years before the official reveal. Not one, but 2 times. This is a lot of proof, and a big chunk of the fandom was convinced by this theory.
You know what, kid? You've convinced me. I'm sold.
Sadly for Alex Hirsch, this wasn't even the worst part. Fans were building on this twin theory, and later they even figured out that Stan's twin brother is actually the author of the journals, and that theory was also quite convincing as well. It went like this. Dipper got the journal near the Mystery Shack, in a place that's not too far but also not too obvious. If you think about it, it's the perfect place to hide something for the author, but only if he lives in the shack. It makes no sense to hide it there if he's from somewhere else. This also explains how Gideon got his hands on Journal 2, since we already knew that Gideon's family factory is located on Gopher Road, which is the same street as the Mystery Shack. Both places are literally on the same road, so it's reasonable to assume that Gideon also found Journal 2 near the Mystery Shack. And even back then, the show told us the reason he wanted to steal the Mystery Shack from Stan.
Father, have I ever told you the true nature of this book? It was written many years ago by a brilliant unknown author.
Gideon knew that if he got control of the Mystery Shack, he would find the rest of the journals and gain unimaginable power.
He thought no one would ever find them because he knew that if the journals were ever brought together, they would unleash a gateway to unimaginable power.
What's even crazier is that Gideon's Journal 2 has a section titled Possible Hiding Places, and the drawing in the journal literally shows the Mystery Shack. And all of the hiding places are in close proximity to it. This was enough to convince a lot of fans that Stan had a twin brother, and that this twin was the real author of the journals. But that wasn't going to happen on Alex Hirsch's watch. He didn't want his most hardcore fans ruining the Gravity Falls experience for themselves, so he took matters into his own hands. He had to save the story all by himself. Instead of rewriting the show or changing any plans, Alex and his team created a false counter-narrative and quietly leaked it. To throw fans off the trail of the true author, Alex made a quick sketch of McGucket writing the journal himself. He chose Old Man McGucket because there were already popular theories that he was the author. We see in multiple scenes that this old man is much smarter than he looks, like when he built the mechanical Loch Ness Monster. And the other time when Gideon used him to create a giant robot of himself. But Alex wasn't alone. He gave the sketch to director Joe Pitt, who finished it and made it look as flawless as possible. Then the final drawing was colored by art director Ian Worrell. All of this was top secret stuff, and this was the picture they made. A still image of a supposed younger version of Old Man McGucket with a brown beard as he writes down a journal. But they made it even spicier by giving McGucket 6 fingers. And from the journal's cover, it's pretty obvious that the author has 6 fingers. On top of that, McGucket's normal design includes a permanent bandage on his arm, which made the theory feel even more believable. Maybe something happened to his hand that made him lose a finger, and that's why he has that hand bandaged all the time. But Alex was way too smart to just leak this photo as it is, so he actually put timestamps and production codes on it to make it seem legit. But he couldn't just leave it like that, so he decided to add a hidden code. If you use the A1Z26 cipher on this date at the top, you get the letter A, L, and X. Bro really was a smooth criminal, leaving a signature behind after a successful heist. He then displayed it on a screen in the production studio, making it look as casual and unplanned as possible. Now he just needed a covert way to get this to the fans. He didn't choose Reddit or Twitter, since he already had a presence there and it might have made things way too obvious. So, on April the 9th, 2013, Alex Hirsch went onto 4chan's co-board into a Gravity Falls thread, pretending to be just a regular fan who had discovered something huge. He claimed he was just a random fan who got the opportunity to take a tour of the Disney TVA offices. There, he snapped a photo of a huge spoiler that was accidentally left up in an empty room. The caption on his post was pretty decent. "Seriously, don't look at this if you don't want spoilers. But I took a tour of Disney and I got this picture of the editing office. And I got a few pictures from season 2 episodes. This one is probably the most interesting. Again, don't click if you don't want spoilers." To make the whole thing feel more legit, he also dropped a real image leak from the episode Gideon Rises, which was unaired at that time. Its caption read, "Here's another one. It's less spoilery, but also blurry." He claimed this one was taken in a separate room, making it seem like he was just a fan sneaking around. That was a 200 IQ move. Fans already knew Gideon Rises was coming, so seeing a real image from an unreleased episode instantly sold the leak as real. And once people saw that it was the real deal, they were way more likely to believe the McGucket image too. The timing made it even crazier. This all happened in April 2013, right after Gravity Falls had been renewed for season 2, when the fandom was already in full theory mode. But Alex didn't stop there. He waited a few hours for the post to blow up and get reshared all over the internet. And then he went to his real Twitter account and acted furious about the leak, simply tweeting, "Fuming right now." That tweet sealed it. It made the whole thing feel so real that even some of the crew got caught off guard. And like a true internet troll, he quickly deleted the tweet. And it worked, almost too well. The fandom instantly switched lanes. People stopped focusing on the Stan twin theory and started freaking out, thinking the show's entire next season mystery had just been blown wide open. McGucket was the author of the journals, or so it seemed. All over the place, people were refuting each other. It was like a war between two camps. On one side, there were those who were pushing the McGucket is the author agenda, and on the other were those convinced Stan's twin brother wrote the journals. The people who didn't believe the screenshot only added more chaos. And now people were abandoning the idea that Stan's brother was the one who wrote the journal. I don't think people realize how smart Alex was every step of the way. He didn't try too hard and played his cards perfectly. He could have made something to prove that there was no twin brother, but that would have been a total miss, since the twin theory itself had way too much evidence. So instead, he singled out another subplot and diverted attention in a way that felt believable. If he had overdone it, the entire thing would have blown up in his face. But Alex Hirsch is just built different. He's just on another level when it comes to engaging his fans. His plan was a success. People weren't really sure about the author until more than a year later when they saw Society of the Blind Eye. It revealed that Old Man McGucket's real name is Fiddleford, and he looked pretty decent in his youth, not like that cursed-looking old man in the still image. And more importantly, his younger version clearly had 5 fingers. By now, people knew that leak was fake, but they still didn't know who was actually behind this whole thing. So about a month after Society of the Blind Eye was released, Alex finally came clean at the 2014 Creative Talent Expo. He even posted a tweet of himself posing in front of the fake image, letting the whole world know that he got them good. Who goes through all that trouble just to make sure fans get the best experience? And who's even smart enough to pull something like that off? That's something unique to Alex Hirsch, and it's probably why he's so loved as a creator. And that's the story of the McGucket hoax. It was such a big event in the fandom that it was later referenced in the Book of Bill. In it, Bill pranks Dipper by beaming fake images of Tyler Cutebiker, Waddles, and Gorney as the supposed authors of the journals. All of them were made in the style of the hoax. Speaking of the Book of Bill, the McGucket hoax wasn't the only time Alex fooled the hell out of his fans. Over the years, Alex has been trolling people who constantly ask about a season 3. Like this tweet right here. If no one likes or retweets this tweet, I'll make a new episode of Gravity Falls. Well, you all screwed up again. Or this one he posted during the pandemic. I promise if America ever reaches the 100% vaccinated status for the eligible, I will stop tweeting and make Gravity Falls Season 3. Or this one. I feel like pulling a Lynch and doing Season 3 of Gravity Falls when I turn 70. It's obvious Alex Hirsch is joking, but fans are still hopeful for a Season 3, citing all kinds of wild reasons. And when, after years of no Gravity Falls content, Alex finally came up with the Book of Bill, a book that expanded the Gravity Falls universe by introducing us to so many high-level characters. The speculations for Season 3 were back in fashion. We learned that Bill originally came from a two-dimensional universe that was destroyed. Also, after the events of Gravity Falls, Bill actually managed to survive. Now he's just attending a cosmic-level mental health facility called the Theraprism. If you remember, when Bill was being erased, he was actually making a wish to the mighty axolotl. It's not really obvious though until you play the audio backwards. The point is, with the Book of Bill, we learned a ton about the Gravity Falls universe, and there's more than enough material in there for a new series. Since there were so many new Easter eggs and secret codes in the book, the fandom came alive once more to solve all of them. But the one Easter egg that managed to fool everyone was this weird-looking puzzle. It all started when a fan noticed that the Book of Bill has a link to a website. If you go to page 16 and take a closer look near the bottom of the page, you'll see a link that says, thisisnotawebsite.com.com. At that time, if you typed in the address thisisnotawebsite.com, you would have been greeted with a pitch-black login screen with a triangle in the middle. But what really mattered was the section asking for a password. The moment people saw it, the entire fandom came together to crack it. Fans genuinely believed a Season 3 trailer was hiding behind that black screen, and that belief wasn't random. This was a classic Alex Hirsch move, a slow build-up, secret codes, and a big reveal at the end. As I said, the Book of Bill was the first major Gravity Falls release in years. So when Alex Hirsch started working with Disney again, people were convinced more Gravity Falls content was on the way. All they had to do was to find the password and see what would be revealed. The problem was that the Book of Bill is packed with codes, all using different symbols and methods. To make things even more confusing, the book even introduced entirely new ciphers, like the color cipher, which didn't appear until after the book's release. This sent fans into full detective mode, scrambling to hunt down every possible code in search of the answer. But in the end, all of that effort was completely unnecessary because the real answer was painfully obvious. It was hiding in plain sight inside this image. The image itself appeared in the Book of Bill as a simple question. On one page, Bill is shown stumbling upon a door that says, "The Secrets of the Universe." And he says, "Oh, hello there. You just caught me peeking at all the secrets of the universe. The meaning of life, what everyone is saying about you behind your back, how to make a functioning atomic bomb out of ducklings," as well as his entire journey through history. But before he tells you all that, he needs to make sure your mind is powerful enough to handle these deep, dark secrets, just in case your brain doesn't melt out of your ears. So, on the next page, we're greeted with the one true intelligence test, made up of generic workbook-looking pages filled with simple brain puzzles you need to answer. And if you flip through the pages, you'll get to question number 7. It simply asks you, what is this thing? It's the kind of thing that reminds you of those old Facebook posts everyone sees, only if you're ancient enough. It's something that needs to be looked at from a specific angle to be read. If you tilt it just right, it will say, "Need a password? Fine, I will talk." And if you then look at it from the other side, it says, "It's the name of the eyeball doc." So who is this eyeball doctor? To find out, we need to look a bit earlier in the book. Oops, that's a bit too early. What I mean is this page where Bill is telling you all about himself. He lists his powers and weaknesses, but then suddenly cancels the whole thing, saying, "Hold up, you really thought I was gonna give you step-by-step instructions on taking me down? Get Gadspeed, sucker." Suddenly, the next page of the Book of Bill transforms into The Great Gatsby. You know, the famous American novel The Great Gatsby that came out all the way back in 1925? It's one of the most commonly taught novels in American high schools, and many of you probably had to read it. But what the hell is it doing in the Book of Bill? Get Gadspeed? What kind of prank even is this? Is it like a new Rickroll or something? I have a lot to say about the creativity on display here, but let's get back to the point. On the very first page, we have this section. But above the gray land and spasms of bleak dust which drifted endlessly over it, you perceive after a moment the eyes of Dr. T.J. Eckelberg. This is the eye doctor Bill Cipher is talking about, Dr. T.J. Eckelberg. So when the fans entered the password T.J. Eckelberg into the website, it was a success. Everyone was beyond excited. After all, most of us were expecting to see the trailer for Season 3. But all we got was this page, and it was a clock counting down the time, and the countdown was set to end on July 30th. This got everyone upset at first, but their excitement returned when they realized that this much suspense meant that this had to be a huge announcement. It's worth the wait for the grand announcement of Season 3, or if not Season 3, at least some kind of spin-off series featuring Bill Cipher, or maybe some episodes about Stanford's time in the other dimensions, or literally anything featuring the main cast. All over the internet, people were hopeful, and there was a lot of media coverage on it. So imagine the frustration of the fans when the countdown ended and it just kept on going. This time, in the negative direction. Everyone was beyond confused by this. Why is it ticking backwards? And a little while later, Seuss appeared saying, Mystery Shack is currently experiencing some delays, and Seuss is hard at work fixing it. As expected of the fandom, everyone started going into theory mode, throwing all kinds of wild guesses about what it could mean. What is Alex Hirsch trying to tell us? It turns out that this was not part of the plan, and it was indeed just a technical error. As confirmed 10 days later on August 9th, the issue was fixed and you could see Seuss celebrating, saying, "Solved! Time to ask Mr. Pines for a raise." So, did we get a Season 3 now? No, we didn't, and that's how the whole fandom was fooled once again. I mean, in the past, Alex Hirsch was always upfront about there being no Season 3, and he even made jokes about it. But this time, he was surprisingly quiet. He never confirmed or denied any expectations from this whole ordeal. Even I thought maybe he had changed his mind over the years. Or maybe it's more accurate to say that the hopium was out of control and Gravity Falls fans actually fooled themselves. The project that was actually released was this awesome website with interactive objects. You can see the Book of Bill, a candle, a pyramid light prism, a flask with an eyeball in it, and most importantly, the computer. Even now, you can input whatever you want into the computer, and if it's something relevant or a secret code, you'll discover tons of lore regarding Gravity Falls, even things that are totally exclusive to the website. Like if you type the word Stan in the computer, the website will direct you to an eBay listing of brass knuckles or even other things that Stan is always carrying, like gold chains for old men, Stan's iconic Shriner fez, 8-ball cane, or Colonel Sanders tie. But if you keep entering Stan's name in the computer, eventually you'll land on these notes by Bill Cipher. A message from Bill to the viewers about Stanley's past shames with interactive elements leading to multiple other messages. Clicking on How Stan Beat Me up to 25 times in a row displays a series of secret messages, and if you keep clicking on it, you even get these entirely new codes. If you translate this, it says, "Through the eyes of everyone I've seen." The point is, this website is a proper rabbit hole in every sense of that word. Once you discover something, you find out it leads to tons of other things. A lot has already been decoded by the efforts of the entire fandom, and so many confirmations have been discovered about Bill's past. But even after more than a year, there are lots of mysteries to solve and ciphers to decipher. So, I recommend you visit thisisnotawebsite.com and give it a try yourself. Try your hand, and maybe you'll discover something new. It was no Season 3 announcement, but it was the next best thing. And who knows, maybe there is a Season 3 hidden somewhere in the website. Just kidding, that's not possible. Or is it? Anyway, these were the times when Gravity Falls fooled everyone. Thanks for watching this video. Give it a like and do subscribe with bell notifications turned on. Also, leave your thoughts in the comments about your favorite moment when Alex Hirsch trolled his fans. Or maybe come back to comment something about this awesome website that you would like to share. And I'll see you in the next video.